Welcome back, friends. I'm Yvonne Davis, author, astrologer, and life transformation coach. And today I'm doing a video called Will the Stock Market Chaos Bring Trump Down? And I think this is a very important topic, not just because, a lot of us would like to see Trump brought down, but also because some of you may have money in the stock market. And so I think it's a good topic to talk about so we can be aware of what might be coming in the future. So as always, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and help me build this community. And we can all support each other in our common goal, which is to see a new, more stable government in the United States in a year from now. And I think we really have to pull together. I know a lot of people were upset because they had certain people that they voted for during the Super Tuesday primaries, and maybe they weren't happy with the results. But in the end, it's way more important for us to get things stabilized. And so we have to work together as a community to do that. So I hope that the information that I'm offering in this channel is helpful in that regard. So please do subscribe if you haven't yet subscribed. Click like on this video, share with friends and family and on social media, and ring the bell for notifications and leave your comments. So, oh boy, let's go ahead and look at that chart and see what might be coming with the stock market. Alrighty, so I've decided to pull up the full moon to start with, which is on March 9th. And the reason why I'm choosing this particular chart is because Venus is conjunct Uranus at the time of this full moon. So here's what you need to understand. Venus rules money, okay? Taurus rules money. Taurus is the material earth sign ruled by Venus, and everything to do with money, finances, our material well-being, wealth, anything like that is going to be affected by planets in the sign of Taurus. Okay, so now Venus in Taurus is awesome, not a problem, but Uranus in Taurus can be very destabilizing, and it's going to be there for another 6 years. And I think a lot of things are going to be happening with both Uranus and Venus this year that we need to take a really, really close look at and see if we can protect ourselves, okay? So first of all, the fact that Uranus and Venus are conjunct in Taurus at the time of the full moon, this conjunction itself could cause a little bit of destabilization. But the thing about Uranus is it's the planet of unpredictability. It brings shocks and surprises. And so it's really impossible to predict with Uranus, so we don't know if it will go up or down. I'm thinking maybe Venus will give it a boost up. So for those of you who rely on the stock market for your well-being, hopefully that will happen for you. But of course, everything that happens good for the economy or the stock market helps to boost Donald Trump. So that's a little bit challenging, isn't it? So how do we get the stability in both our financial lives and our political situation? That's the conundrum we're in right now. Also, this Uranus-Venus conjunction is sextiling the North Node, which is considered favorable, and trining the South Node, also favorable. But of course, with Uranus, who knows? Uranus is so crazy and chaotic. Sometimes it will do things that you think should be good, but turn out to be bad. So I cannot make a prediction. All I can say is that Uranus brings instability and chaos. And at the time of the full moon, it will be magnified. Now, Mercury is also stationing direct. So the benefit of this particular chart is that with Mercury direct, we will start to get more clarity, because the Sun conjunct Neptune is also bringing instability, in the sense that it's hard to know what's true. There's a lot of misinformation going around right now, and that was magnified by Mercury, and all of this combined was creating instability in the stock market. But once Mercury goes direct, that will help to stabilize things, even though the Sun is still conjunct Neptune. It will start to get better, okay? It's like there's a last bump in this roller coaster ride, and then things should smooth out a bit. But it may take the entire month of Mercury moving through Neptune to completely clear out the misinformation or the confusion that's leading to the instability in the stock market. And because people try to benefit in some way by tragedies, and so there has been events unfolding, which I can't name, because we can't mention that word on YouTube or we'll get demonetized, but it's been causing instability in the world. And so a lot of people in the stock market try to benefit from those tragedies. The other problem is that this Venus Uranus conjunction is square to Saturn and Pluto. So that could be problematic as well. So again, I think that things will begin to stabilize once Mercury gets all the way through Neptune. That'll take about a month. And then we can see where we stand. But their problems are going to come up throughout the year. So that doesn't mean we'll be done. We'll go in waves, up and down and up and down. So this is one of those time periods where I think we'll see maybe a final bump in the roller coaster ride of the stock market. And then over the course of the month, things will start to mellow out a little bit. Maybe get another bump when Mercury actually conjoins Neptune. But over time, it will start to mellow out a little bit. And then we'll get some more clarity. But then the next thing that will happen, this is why I say it's not just going to be one thing, it's going to come in waves, because the next thing that will happen is that Venus will go retrograde. And when Venus goes retrograde, this is going to be very problematic for both the stock market and for Donald Trump. So I'm going to bring up this Venus retrograde chart on Donald Trump's chart so that you can see what that looks like. And this is going to start on May 13th. Alrighty, so let's see what that looks like. I think I need to get a little more information from these charts. Okay, so as always, as we've seen for the longest time, that finger of God, boomerang yod, is right there, still having an impact. And Saturn has now moved into his 7th house, which, as I said, I think will be a constriction of support, because the 7th house is long-term meaningful relationships. And with Saturn being in that house, Saturn creates constriction. And so there will be a constriction of support for him. And then the other thing we want to look at again is Venus turning retrograde right over his Sun and his North Node. And it will go all the way across the Sun, the North Node, and Uranus before it turns direct again. Now, Venus rules money and wealth, it rules relationships, and it rules women. So it can manifest the feminine energy, so anything to do with women. And also, it's like the way that the world is seeing us. When Venus is retrograde, the world can't see things clearly. So there's going to be more misinformation with Venus retrograde, and then an eclipse that will intensify it. And so I'll bring up that eclipse as well, so you can see how that's going to look. This is all going to happen in the summer. So it could relate to the stock market, or it could, and the economy, or it could relate to spreading illnesses. And this will cause destabilization. And a lot of it's just due to the simple fact of there isn't enough information out there. That's what's actually causing this instability. I think that's going to be more true with, and also Donald Trump's just not willing to look at things honestly. So there's just going to be so much misinformation. And I think that misinformation will cause destabilization in the stock market and cause people to feel afraid because they don't know what's true. And so that's going to be very problematic this summer. That's going to cause more bumps in the stock market. And then finally, we'll get through these summer eclipses, and then we will have there's a full moon just before, like 4 days before the election. And I talked about it in my last video because I was saying that, with the full moon is going to be conjunct Uranus. And as I was saying before, that will bring destabilization to the election itself. So I think I'll bring that up just so you can see how, because basically, I forgot we have a Mars retrograde as well, which is going to also cause destabilization. So the whole year is going to be very much marked by these waves of confusion and misinformation and destabilization. So I brought up the Mars retrograde. So we just got through a Mercury retrograde and we saw what happened. Now we're going to have this Venus conjunction to Uranus, which could, again, bring a final bump. And then Mercury will conjoin Neptune, which will also bring more confusion about what's going on. And that could cause another dip in the stock market. And then once Mercury stabilizes, then Venus goes retrograde in the summer. And then we have that eclipse with Mars making an exact T-square to the eclipse. And then once we get through the eclipses, things will stabilize a little more, but then we'll get Mars retrograde. As you can see up here, it's in his 9th house. And as I was saying, the 9th house rules politics. That's not going to be good for him. So, and then there was the final bump, which will be the full moon. That will, let me see if this is it. Yep, that's it. Okay, so this full moon is what really does it. And and it's got Mercury retrograde too. So it's going to bring some more destabilization. So we kind of know that with our political situation, but I think people need to keep in mind that the other problems that go along with this, just the simple fact of missing information and a lot of fear and potentially panic and destabilization in the stock market. So the thing that you want to do more than anything, as I said before, is do as much research as you can. Try to get as many facts as you can so that at least you're working with accurate information. And secondly, do whatever you can to protect your assets if they are in any way impacted by the stock market, because I think this year is going to be really tricky in terms of the stock market. So ultimately, I do think that I don't know, my intuition keeps telling me, even though I've been trying to be really careful about not letting wishful thinking mix in with my predictions, but I've been thinking that I don't, for some reason, I don't, like, my intuition is starting to tell me I don't think that Trump is going to have, he's not going to have 4 years. He's not going to have another 4 years, okay? I'm still not 100% sure how the election's going to work itself out because as I said before, I think that there may not be a clear winner, or somehow Trump is not going to be willing to leave. And that's what will cause the inauguration day um, revolution, because he'll refuse to leave. And anyway, whatever happens, it is really hard in terms of predictions. Like, you can know that there's going to be a problem or that there's going to be destabilization, but it's much, much harder to say exactly what that's going to look like, exactly how it's going to manifest. Um, so I know that there are going to be these disturbances around the time of the election and inauguration day. And so I've been trying really hard to give examples of how that might manifest so people can understand. But I do feel very confident in saying that he will not complete a second term, whether that means he gets voted out or he dies, or if he gets elected, he'll get impeached or something like that. But he will not complete a second 4-year term. I feel very confident in saying that. So again, be careful to protect your assets in the stock market or related to the stock market. I just want you guys to be safe and try to lower your levels of anxiety. I know a lot of you feeling a lot of anxiety, not just about the political situation, but about potential health threats. So, and then the stock market. So that's a lot to think about. So if you can do one thing, I would suggest, if it helps to bring some peace of mind to you, do what you can to protect your assets, okay? All right, so that's it for today, and I will try to bring some more to you this weekend if I'm able to. I've been keeping really busy here, so but I'll do my best. All righty, thanks. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.